Dear Chair Manning, Vice Chair Thatcher, my name is Representative Tran, and I have the honor of representing House District 45 Northeast and a little bit of Southeast Portland. As both an optometrist and as a member of the Air National Guard, I have personally witnessed the transformative power of education and its ability to open opportunities and strengthen communities. HB 3920 honors the service and sacrifices made by Oregon's veterans and their families, removing barriers and empowering the children of disabled or deceased service members to access higher education and advanced career opportunities. It was my education that allowed me to build wealth, and it is well known that the children of disabled veterans are often face additional cost barriers in their access to higher education. I strongly support House Bill 3920, an important technical update that aligns Oregon's Veterans Dependent Tuition Waiver Program with recent federal updates to the Survivors and Dependents Educational Assistance, Chapter 35. HB 3920 raises the age limit for the existing waiver from 23 to 31 years for the children of 100% disabled veterans. Congress, by removing the age limits on Chapter 35 program, recognized delays in processing and recognized that children pursue education at different paces. House Bill 3920 aligns Oregon's waiver with these federal changes. The cost impact of House Bill 3920 should be minimal when compared to other concepts. House Bill 3920 enjoyed broad bipartisan support. It passed the House unanimously. And before that, it passed the House Committee on Higher Education and Workforce Development on a unanimous basis also. I want to quickly address the last dollar nature of this program. As written, this bill has an indeterminate but likely minimal fiscal impact because it waives tuition only after federal, state, and institutional aid are applied. There have been other bills this session that seek to change the waiver program into a first dollar concept. This bill maintained the existing last dollar approach to ensure a minimal impact on revenues for our universities. In addition to raising the age limit, it also updates the law to clarify that a student may receive a master's degree waiver regardless of if they receive a waiver for the baccalaureate undergraduate studies. This reduces confusion and aligns with the original intent of the program. In supporting House Bill 3920, you will not only significantly benefit our military-connected families, but also the broader community by enhancing workforce readiness and strengthening Oregon's economic future. Please join me in supporting House Bill 3920.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair Manning, Vice Chair Thatcher, members of the committee. My name is Mark Meek, State Senator from Senate District 20, which includes Gladstone, Happy Valley, and Oregon City, and unincorporated portions of Clackamas County. And I want to thank you for the opportunity to testify in support of House Bill 3920 this afternoon. This bill makes important common sense updates to Oregon's Veterans Dependent Tuition Waiver Program. It recognizes that not every student's path to higher education is linear or predictable, especially for children of our disabled veterans or fallen service members. These students may need time to heal, time to work, or simply time to figure out their next steps. Raising the age limit eligibility from 23 to 31 acknowledges that reality, and it keeps these educational opportunities available for when those students are ready to take that next step. I know firsthand that the transition from military service back to civilian life doesn't happen on a fixed timeline. And for example, after I got out of the Air Force, I was 25 and went back to school to finish my degree. And so it's no different for the families who have stood behind their service member that served. Whether someone starts school right after high school or finds their way back years later, they should have the chance to reach their full potential. So House Bill 3920 brings Oregon's law in line with federal updates, removes unnecessary red tape around graduate study eligibility, and ensures that this benefit remains a last dollar award, covering only what's left over after other aid is applied. That means minimal fiscal impact to our institutions while maximizing opportunity for those who've sacrificed so much. At its core, this bill is about honoring commitments. We tell the families of those who serve that we stand with them, but those words only mean something if they're backed by action. And House Bill 3920 is our chance to follow through on that promise. Thank you, Chair Manning, and thank you, members.
Thank you.
Dear Chair, there we go. Dear Chair Manning, Vice Chair Thatcher, and members of the committee. My name is Collin Ledford, and I'm Representative Tran's legislative aide, where I have the honor of helping keep our inbox clean, schedule her meetings, and work on legislation such as this bill. As a resident of Northeast Portland, I'm also her constituent, and I've worked for Rep. Tran in some capacity since last January. I'm also the proud son of a combat veteran. Before I was born, my dad served our country in the Army as part of the 82nd Airborne as a service member during the invasion of Panama and as part of Operation Desert Storm in Kuwait. This experience left him with PTSD and other injuries that over 30 years later led to his 100% disability rating from the Veterans Administration. Growing up the son of a disabled veteran wasn't easy. It meant periods where my dad was unable to work, unable to provide for a family. Saving for college is never a possibility for a child when you're struggling to hold a job long enough to make mortgage payments or put food on the table. The trauma and disability my dad has due to his service ultimately led to my parents filing bankruptcy and separating when I was a teenager, which wiped out what little my parents had saved to put me and my brother through higher education. It was because of the federal Pell Grant and the Oregon Opportunity Grant that I was able to attend Portland State University with only a small but manageable amount of student debt, becoming the first in my family to get a bachelor's degree, ultimately bringing me to the job I hold today. I know how crucial education can be in opening pathways to better opportunities. And it wasn't until December of 2024, just a few months ago, when my dad was finally found to be unemployable due to his disabilities, which, per the VA, raised his disability rating to 100%. This was a truth that I and my family knew for many years, and we have no doubt that if my dad were not disabled from his service, he would have saved to put me and my brother through undergraduate and future graduate education. When he was found eligible for this program, I received a certificate of eligibility for federal Chapter 35 benefits from the VA. I brought this concept to Rep. Tran because I know were it not for years of processing delays, years of back and forth and misdiagnoses and re-diagnoses and other barriers, my dad would have received this 100% rating many years ago. I now have access to these benefits because of the sacrifices my dad made for this country and the barriers I faced growing up. And being too old should not preclude me or others in similar circumstances from receiving this waiver when I believe in the importance of access for education. It's heartened to see this bill pass the House floor on a unanimous basis, both out of the committee and then passing the floor. Oregon has the potential to be the best state to be a veteran and to be a veteran family member in, and a commitment to their families only furthers that goal. HB 3920 honors disabled veterans and their families and provides educational pathways for children. Age should not be an arbitrary barrier, and students who are eligible for Chapter 35 benefits should be eligible for a tuition waiver for longer to align with changes to the federal program. Thank you to the committee for your time.